Good morning. Something a little bit different. Sorry about my squeaky floorboards. I've shown you this briefly. I can't remember what video, but I did show it. That's kind of working thread. Let me just pin that there. This is a piece of fabric that I gel printed. Yeah, so I've highlighted. I need to trim it. I've highlighted all the stitching up this end. Some of these were Jen's lovely threads that she gifted me. Beautiful. That one. Bit of fern stitch, I think that's called. It's kind of like fly stitch, but you just keep going basically. And then this bit at the bottom here, it had empty squares, so I got out my Van Buck silks, got a piece here actually, and put a load of interfacing on the back because it is very frayable, this stuff. And then I cut out squares around the circles basically, and they fitted beautifully. And then I just blanket stitched around the edge of those. I've done chain stitch around there using Steph Francis Perle 8, which is a beautiful thread, absolutely beautiful. And then I hand dyed some white anchor cotton. I just did it with my Intense blocks, which is one that I'm doing. I'm just finishing this one off, and just kind of went around. I mean, you know, nothing, absolutely no rocket science at all. It's just something I sit and do when I listen to a lot of podcasts actually on YouTube. So yeah, that's about it really. Just going to pop this one back in here because I've used that one now. These are my Steph Francis threads. I need to get some more of these actually because I love this one. Her threads are just so silky. Yeah, anyway, so that's that. Yeah, I just need to finish this bit off here, and all I'm doing very simply, let me get a little bit closer for you. I don't know if you can see, I used a packing box which had these boxes, these shapes on the bottom, so I'm just highlighting these bits out the side here. I'm not coming down here because I envisage I need to trim this quite a bit to make it square. I did overlap the side there a little bit. I might be able to undo that one. Looks like a starting stitch, but yeah, there's all the stitching you can see. And on the back I've used a non-fusible interfacing basically, which is just giving it enough poof, you know. So yeah, there we are. That's about it really. I don't know what else to say. It's just been a nice bit of slow stitching. I think I was doing 4 wraps. Yeah, just completely abstract. Not quite sure what it's going to end up being. I have contemplated cutting it in the middle because I've got a line here which is more or less halfway just above that lime green bit. Might be able to get through there. If I have to cut that stitching, that's no biggie. I can always add that back in, or I don't know, it's a bit big for a, I was thinking of a journal cover, but it's too tall. It's enormous. I don't know what size it is actually. There's a ruler here somewhere. Yeah, so it's 11.5 inches by roughly 7.5. I think that's about where the paint ends. Yeah, 11.5 by 7.5. So it's too big to be a journal. If anything, I should have cut it off. I don't know what size I've got my China one here. Yeah, so if anything, it should have been cut across there, but I haven't done it, so it'll become something. The other thing I thought was maybe a couple of what would you call them? Kind of like needle books, if you like, and a trifold one for this, you know, because that would fold nicely into 3. Let me finish this stitching. I want to talk about it. Oh dear. Oh, it's another hot clammy day here today. I got the week off this week, so I'm going to do some stuff on my embellisher because I've got a load of stuff ready and just haven't got round to getting the machine out basically. So it's sat on its trolley waiting to go, poor thing. So it's just time. I just, you know, when you're working and you've got a busy family, August is a horrendous month. There's so many birthdays in our family in August. So, yeah. Because two of my daughters, one was on the 3rd, one was on the 5th. Mine's on the 13th. My daughter's partner's, I think it's this weekend actually, so I don't know if we're going to do anything. So yeah, you kind of get caught up in those kind of weeks. It's a bit crazy. I can't, am I staying in shot? Stay up there. Yeah, it's just one of those weekends, and I got the car MOT. Oh, I'm dreading it. My car is 18 years old. I'm hoping it's going to go through the MOT again. I need to get the one of the side light bulbs has gone. I noticed that, so I need to get that done. It never ends, does it, with a car? But in the part of Devon that I live, we are poorly transport. We are bereft of public transport. So I was watching a crocheter podcast. She's local, and she did a. I didn't even know it was on. So no wonder it was badly supported. But she'd done a craft fair here. I live in the town or village. I didn't even know it was on. So there you go. Otherwise, I'd have probably got a stall. But yeah. And she said it's her worst market ever. And I thought, well, yeah, because I know exactly where it was held, which is a not a heavily populated bit. Basically, it's not a. I mean, the kids go there because it's the youth club, but yeah, for a craft market, I thought, that's going to be a bit of a disaster, and it was. So, yeah. Anyway, right, so that's that done. Yeah, I haven't come over here because, as I say, I need to trim this, and I kept those away as well. So the only worry is going to be this one here. But looking at that, that's... I could probably undo that because that's like a starter knot. Anyway, right, there we are. So, it is finished. I might do some more of the wavy line bits, but I need to decide what I'm going to do with them first. Just chop that off. Yeah, it was one of my subscribers said something about the slow stitch. Was it a subscriber or was it somebody on Discord? I can't remember. Said about slow stitching. I never show it, and I thought, no, I don't. I don't know why. I just don't, and yeah. So I thought I'd show you this bit. As I say, I did briefly flash it in a. I think it was in. Yeah, it was in my colour cube video. I think I briefly showed this. Anyway, yeah, so what I'm thinking is, see, that would be a really nice size, just that top half needle book. That'd be quite pretty actually. And it feels amazing. And then this bottom half, to me, it needs to be a trifold needle book, if anything. Shall I be brave and cut it with you? Obviously I'll separate the pieces first. That could make a really nice needle book actually. This silk, it is so thick I can't even describe how thick, and it's what they make ties out of, but it's all their offcuts, which is why you get these weird shapes. But it is just the thickest silk I think I've ever felt. I've got loads of this left, so it's all good. I've made bags out of it as well, which I've never ever listed for sale. I found them all the other day. I thought, oh Susan, you really need to get your bag sizing gear and list things. Right, okay, so just trying to work out, that's roughly okay, you're trying to separate bits that don't want to be separated. Well done. Right, so that's the corner, that's the corner. Okay, I think I'm going to do that, you know. And I think if I follow this line here, I won't hit, it might have to be this one. Yeah, because there's not much stitching in there. I'm going to be brave. You ready? You're going to have a horrendous scissors against glass sound, so in editing I will try and block this down. So I think what I'll do is I'll come pretty close to this edge here. Right. Okay, mind your ear holes. I can finish that edge with the sewing machine then. Sorry, that noise is awful. Let me get a cut in that. Otherwise your teeth will be on edge. Put my wall mat there. Let's move that box out of the way, have a bit more room. I really should do this with a square ruler and a rotary cutter, but oh well, nothing ventured. That's fairly straight. Well done, Sue. Blimey, wonders will never cease. Right, let's trim this down. Is there going to be any? Okay, I think I'm going to come away from the edge a bit. So I probably will machine finish the edges on here. So when I zigzag, it'll cover all that. Bit wonky donkey. Right, well I'll leave that for like that for now, because what I'll do is I'll get it on the cutting mat and get a proper square off there. Now this one, I'd say it's a bit of a pain with that bit there. But again, when I zigzag over the edges, it might not be too bad. Hold those knots out of the way, don't really want to go through them. And same with you. Ow. Oh, these scissors are so sharp, that nearly broke my skin then. Blimey. I might do some machine stitching just to give it that. And I might go straight, because I'm going to do a tri-fold. I want a good straight line to fold. That'd be quite pretty to do it that way with the wavy bottom at the bottom. So if I line that, make it a tri-fold. It'd be a tall, thin one, but I think that's quite nice actually. Oh, it feels squishy. Okay. That's quite nice. I like that. I like that a lot. And that one too, but I want to square that one up because it is going to be a square book. Might get away, yeah, I can take a bit off the bottom there, can't I? Because I was going to try and square up the edges, but let me, hang on. actually grab a cutting mat. It's just that bit there. That's going to be wibbly wobbly anyway, so that's fine. Find my rotary cutter. Maybe it needs to come over just a tad. Amazing what a new blade in your rotary cutter does, isn't it? Yeah, I don't want to go too close to there because all my knots are there, so I'll zigzag those edges when I put the lining on. But yeah, they're going to make two really nice little needle cases, aren't they? Really decorative and different. Cool. Right, okay. Do you want to see that bit? Might as well. Right, I'll pause you for now. Let me get some lining fabrics and some felt for inside. That's going to be... What I might do is just felt line the whole thing, not have any pages, otherwise it's going to be quite awkward. Yeah, so if I just felt line the whole thing, there's plenty of places to put needles and pins there, isn't there? That doesn't need pages in it. As in, you know, to put your needles. I don't know if that makes sense actually, if you've never seen a needle book before. But yeah, that'll be fine. We'll devise some sort of a closure. Maybe just a simple wrap round, because that would lend itself to a wrap round. That could be quite nice. And then this one I will make into a needle book, as in it will have, that'll all be covered, and then it'll have a leaf, a page here, probably a double piece of felt to, so it'll be quite a big one actually. Right, okay, let me gather some supplies and I'll come back and we'll sew it together. It'll be a minute. Right, we're on the sewing table. I hope it's bright enough for you. I think it is. It's a very overcast day. I've cut the felt. I like to do a darkish colour on the inside. This is the one that's going to be a trifold, so there's not going to be any separate leaves on this one. Yeah, so I've done that, and then I've also cut a piece of pelmet violin, which is this thick white stuff here, because my worry was when you're putting pins on the inside, they could easily come through to the outside as well. So I've put a layer of that in there. So hopefully, I mean, you'd have to really stab it to get it through pelmet violin. So don't go stabbing. Yeah, but what I've decided is that I want to put some more wavy stitches through the middle here and kind of up here as well. So I've chosen these two variegated threads. Yeah, and I'm just going to do lines of stitching. I'm going to do it on the machine. The other one I have decided, let me just grab it. I'm going to put some Suffolk puffs on. You can just see them here. Yeah, I'm going to put those on, and then you probably can't see the inside. It's got polka dot purple, and then there's a black leaf. I'll show you that one a bit closer up. But first of all, I just want to do this extra stitching on here basically, so I need to take it all apart now that I've just spent ages putting it all together. Take the felt off, keep the pelmet violin on, because that really does give it some oomph and it should fold nicely. So I'm just going to clip that back on, get the felt off, and do these extra stitches that I want to do. So that's its piece of felt. I think I'll start with the blues. And let's see what this looks like. It might look absolutely pants. And if it does, we can take it all out and just leave it as is. But I'm hoping it'll look pretty good. if I can get the thread started, of course. I'll just keep a cream thread underneath, so that should be fine. Are you gonna just, I just want the end. God, life should be easy and it really isn't right now. There, see, that's all you have to do. Right, I'm going to put it on my stand thing because it just feeds nicer on my machine if I do that. I don't think I'm going to do any fancy threads as in patterned ones. I think I'll just do straight stitching but kind of in a wobbly vibe. So I'll probably speed you up for this bit because it's going to be not that interesting. So I'll see you back here. Cool. If you can see it, it's a nice thread. It's variegating beautifully. So I don't know about switching to the yellow because there is some yellow in here. I think I might. So let me just undo this one. Oh, stay. You're probably not seeing a lot. I'm sorry, this is probably really boring. I will have sped it up. I know I will. I'm very conscious of boring videos. Mind you, it's just, I don't know about you, but I just sit back, relax, look down at a bit of stitching and just carry on. And then I put my head up when there's something else happening. Right, I'm just going to do over these wavy lines here now. I might do the edges as well actually. Should we start there? Yeah, let's go right round with this one, I think. Securing it to the batting as well, the pelmet viling as well. So right, I'm going to go right round the edge and then up and down the middles. And it broke again. I think I'll come back when it's all done. Right, it started behaving right after I shut the camera off. Of course, I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to make a custom cord. I've got my bag of razzle dazzle threads here, so I'm just going to make. I've pulled off some. I've got some of. I'll put that on there to stop it doing that. I've got some of the thread here in here as well, and then just a couple of the other razzle dazzles. So I thought that would be quite nice when I stitch it all together. So yeah, I'm just going to do that, and then we'll stitch the felt on, and then it will be ready. But I need to put the cord in now, so there's something to tie or wrap it with, basically. Right, so all I do is a big zigzag, as big as my machine will go, which is about 6.5, and then I'll put it on a longer stitch length, and then I sort of just feed it through, basically. Again, I'll probably speed you through this bit. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me. I don't want to shout too loud. It's, all the windows are open and my neighbours think I'm nuts enough as it is. So, look at her talking to herself again. It's got cream thread underneath. I'm just wondering about putting a variegated. Might be enough on there actually. I'm trying to empty some of my spools of thread because I got a load with just bits on, so I had a good day of it yesterday. Stitching a load of bags, and I was using quite a lot of the, whoa, no, don't you fall, Right, you stay there. You come back up here. Yeah, so I managed to use, they were all Gutermann threads, and I thought, well, you're not going to see them on the inside of the bags that I was making, so I've lost me threads. Lost me thread. Oh, what's unusual about that? Let's tie a knot on the end here, and then it'll be easier. I love making these things. I don't know why. I just do. So there we are. Really pretty cord. Nice and sparkly and colourful. I'll leave that end like that, I think. Let's tidy it up a little bit. Now I could put a bead on there. Does it need one? I don't think I will, because I know whenever I put a bead on a finishing thing, it gets a little bit annoying when you're actually using the item daily. So just put a larger knot on. I think it needs to go like that. So if I stitch, I don't know whether, well, it doesn't matter. I don't know which way up to do it, the wibbly wobbly edge at the top or at the bottom. Right, so you're the other end. I need you in there. Are you big enough? Yeah, loads. So I'm just doing a dry run. Okay, could do with being a bit shorter. So that will stop about there. Because you want it to do that. Okay, so there. Highly technical. I suppose I could just do an eyelet, couldn't I? And then I could have a big knot there then. I might do that. I think that would look quite nice. Right, okay. Design decision on the hoof. Right, so let's get you all clipped up again. And what I tend to do is really big zigzag. I do raw edge, just because it's just easier that way. So let's get this all clipped together. It's easier now that I've stitched the pelmet violin actually, because it's not curling so much. Let's get this straight edge sorted. Sorry, I know you're not seeing much, but sometimes I have to get it under my nose. And when I do the zigzag, it will hide all this. And if it doesn't, just go in with some Sharpie. Does the job. Seem to need trimming again. I guess when I put the stitching on here, it's kind of shrunk the background a bit, hasn't it? Okay, let's just grab some scissors. It's a bit too much. Sometimes it will catch that overhang, but this is a bit too much. You know, it'll catch it in the zigzag. Kind of gives it a rolled edge, basically. It won't catch that much though, or this much here. why my machine is always dusty. I am so naughty for doing that. Cutting up there. No, don't want to lose my thread. Clips in. Right, so I've got it on a really big zigzag width-wise. I'm just going to reduce the stitch length to 1.5 because I kind of want it to, what would be the word, overlock it type thing. I don't know what the word is. I'm going to take it slow, so I'll probably put you on fast forward. I've got that funky, oh, see, good old cat. It's literally about to start, and that's all we had on the bobbin. So let's change that. I might go with because I've got a couple of spools of that. Don't even know where this came from. Might be enough to go around. We'll have a look. If not, I've got another one. I don't think it's these threads. I've no idea. Anywho, let's get stitching. Definitely going to speed you up and lower the volume for you, so I'll see you on the other side. Right, I've gone round once. I had to go really slow because that bobbin was not having fun under there, and I didn't want it to start clogging up and beeping the machine and oh, you know. So let's do a quick look under the underside. Looks okay. Looks all pretty, and it's sealed all three together now, so that's good. I suppose I could do a line of stitching. I was going to say I could do a line, you know, but I don't think I will. It's kind of folding itself anyway. Cool. I like it. It's totally unique, isn't it? Right, let me get an eyelet. So I think that would be quite a nice finish. And then it doesn't really matter which way up, as long as you don't mind it going backwards. But I think that's quite a nice attractive way that way with the wibbly wobbly edge. Right, let's get the eyelet machine. One crocodile. I think I'll do one of my big flowers on here, which is one of those bad boys. They're quite pretty. It's probably, see, I wanted it to go there, but I think ideally it's going to literally have to go in the middle. I think it'll flop open too much otherwise. Yeah, I think that's where it's going. So these are incredibly handy machines if you haven't got one. You can get the Big Bite, which is about twice the size of this, but I've got it, but I rarely use it, I'll be honest with you. But I know the minute I sell it, I'll go, oh, I can, oh, no, I can't. I want it for something, no doubt. It just sits in a drawer. Absolutely no bother at all. Doesn't bother anybody. Cool, that went perfect. I love it when it does that. Sometimes the back doesn't split very nicely, but this one did. Okay, so like that, like that. We'll get our little thread in. I'm just wondering about a bead this side. That could look quite nice, couldn't it? I'm going to have to go rummaging. Back in a minute. Right, having said I'm not going to put a bead on the end, if I put a bead on here, it's going to hide that beautiful flower. See if I put it there? And I don't think it's going to do what I want it to do. So I think I'm going to quite simply tie this, but maybe have that big bead on the end here. Because it's such a pretty one. I think, Jen, you sent me this one. It's lovely. Right. Oh, or I'll drop it on the floor. One of the two. Are you going to be nice or are you going to be a pain? Oh, what are you doing? Hang on, hang on, hang on. Right, let me just chop. I shouldn't have tied a knot there. Let's get this on. I don't think it's going to be annoying on the other end. Come on, come on, come on. Go, 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 go. Don't make me get a needle out. You are, aren't you? Right, I've got no room here. Right, you go there, you go there, you go there. This is all my big-eyed needles in here. See, you need a stash like this. Right, let's put you in there. Let's put you on there. Pull you through. Ta-da! Easy peasy. Yeah, that looks nice actually. Right, who did that? This is why it takes me so long to make stuff. But the trick is knowing where everything is, which is quite the trick in my room sometimes. Right, so I want that to come from the top. So if I go that way, yeah, get in there, get in there. These will be for sale if you compare. They are totally unique, as you can see. The bead is going to be a pain because it will bump up the blinking postage. So if somebody overseas buys it, I will probably take that off, undo this, take this off, and you just got to thread it your end, because that way I can sneak that in. Yeah, it might go large letter actually, in which case it doesn't matter about the bead, so scrap that. Oh, the postage does my nutting. Right. Okay, there we are. It's done. Was that painful or what? Right, so there we are. Let me turn you very slightly. See? Pretty. I love it. It just feels amazing as well. And with that pelmet violin in there, it feels substantial, you know, like it's a proper, it'll stand up and everything. If that's important to you. And then literally just undo that and it flops open and you've got, in fact actually you could use that as a design board. You could put your English paper piecing on there, but the nice thing is that your pins will show up beautifully on the darker fabric. See, I put the pelmet there because then you can't really stab right through. I mean, you could if you really force it, but the nice thing is you can do that and do that. I can show you. Yeah, so basically you're not going to stab right through to the cover, is what I'm trying to say in a very weird way that I say things. So there we are. But again, you see your hexes will stick to that. I had one here earlier. Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm gonna sit and sew the other one tonight. Put on the Suffolk puffs. I think that's going to be very pretty when I put the puffs on. So yeah, there we are. Totally unique. Love it. Love making the stringy stuff as well. It's all hand stitched. Gorgeous. So that's what I kind of do some of the things with my slow stitch pieces. So this, I'll say, this will be tonight's little entertainment. I'll probably find some nice buttons to put on there as well, and then I'll take those off and then I can show you inside. So inside it's just a really dark purple spotty, and then I need to stitch down the middle there to put that in. But again, I don't think I'm going to add any more stitching, like machine stitching, apart from doing the edges, of course. But hand stitching wise, I really fancy putting these on there. I think they really are pretty. I might see if I've got some purple ones actually. I've got my little pot here of Suffolk puffs, because then that will match the inside as well. You want to have a nosy? Might as well. Ooh. I love those Kilner jars, they're so pretty. I dropped that one. Welcome to my chaotic life. Yeah, I might actually do some, because I've got the little puff maker thing. Oh, that's quite nice. Oh, that's nicer. I think I like that one to that one. Yeah, and I've got two of those. I don't know what fabrics they are. I think they're the ones that I picked up at the West Point show, really cheap. Maybe we'll put that on there as well. Yeah, they are. They're the little, they were little charm packs, weren't they? If you remember, if you've been with me long enough, you probably do. Now I was going to do little ones on the ends, because this one I might put quite a big button on that on top of the puff, and then that can be, I might just do a simple, I might do the cords again like I've done on the other one. Quite like that. But yeah, they'll be quite pretty. But, I think we're about to have a great big thunderstorm. It's gone very dark. Maybe that one there. Could even go darker actually. Anyway, I'm going to play with that, and I'll see you for another round of making another needlework. Should be quicker. I'll see you then. Bye.